Hi, welcome back to Auntie Tarot. This is the energy soup of the week for the week of July 26th to August 2nd. First, we'll be discussing some of the transits for the week, of which there's a lot going on right now in the world and out in the stars and in the solar system. And then we'll also be bringing in a collective card, which I describe as the energy soup. It's all the transits and energies that we're all swimming in. And then after that, we'll get into the cards and readings for the different elements. Everything will be time-stamped, so you'll be able to skip this first part if you're wanting to watch different elements for your different rising sign, sun sign, and moon, or any of the other personal planets that you may want to be curious about. So starting off, I wanted to talk about Saturn going retrograde this week. And I like to kind of look at Saturn going retrograde as being, the dad who really is concerned about you and wanting things to be, for you to learn how to do things well and right and set up good foundations for yourself. And so he can be stern. There are consequences for everything that we do. He wants you to do things right, don't cut corners. And so when he goes retrograde, I like to think of it as Dad's going away on a weekend vacation to go fishing. And so you're looking at like, oh, good, Dad's going away. The pressure's not on right now. And so it gives you a chance to relax for a little bit, of not having to push forward with him looking at you and breathing down your back. So it's a great time to go back over what are the things that I need to take care of to set up those foundations. Gives you a little time to breathe. And then when he starts going direct, which, he's going retrograde now, and that's on the 27th, on Tuesday, and then at 14 degrees Aries, and then he goes direct again, not until December 11th of this year, and then he'll be out of his shadow period on March 15th of 27. And so when he's going away, you're feeling like, oh yeah, he's on his way out. I might have a chance to relax a little bit, maybe have a little party, and not feel like I have to take care of things. I got plenty of time. And then when he goes direct in December, now he's starting to come home, and now the pressure's on a little bit. What does your room look like? Have you had a little party? What's going on? Have you done your homework? All those things. And then by the time he gets really back to where he was and back home again on March 15th, that's when if things are not done the way he wanted things to be set up, then there'll be consequences. So right now this week, it's about, when a planet goes retrograde is when they have a lot of power. So right now this week is kind of like the little discussion Dad's having with you before he leaves of, I expect the garbage to be taken out. I want that fence painted. Your room better look really good, and your grades, your homework, you better be caught up on that term paper. You better have all these things in a row by the time I get home. I'm going to go by. So right now we have a chance to look at these next months of what can we do for ourselves to set up those foundations, to act responsibly and towards ourselves and our whole situation, to really set ourselves up, because Saturn's all about consequences. If they're not done, there will be consequences that we're not going to be so happy with. On the other hand, if they are done and they're done well, the consequences is that we're going to be moving forward in a much better position for ourselves. So that's one thing I wanted to set up for. And we'll be kind of revisiting where Dad's at and when he's coming back. And how are you feeling about things in these next months to come while he's retrograde? The other thing I wanted to talk about was the full moon in Aquarius at 6 degrees this week. It is on Wednesday, on the 29th. And so this particular full moon is really magnifying a major aspect of the Barbo's basket that's been discussed for a long time, and I talked about it last week. And I'm sure you've been, if you watch a lot of readings with astrologers, you've been hearing about it. And it has a lot to do with the major energies around our collective and these opportunities that we have to really evolve as humanity. And as things, a lot of these energies have come around throughout history, having these things all at the same time in such a auspicious configuration, it allows us really to go beyond where we've gone before. And how are we going to do that in our personal lives as well as out in the collective? And so this full moon is right in line with the Jupiter-Pluto opposition of the Barbo's basket. And it really magnifies those energies while this full moon cycle is in play. It also helps set up the fact that we are going to be going into eclipse season in 2 weeks. And so it's really kind of an entry energy going into this eclipse season for a lot of change. And so we have the Sun and Jupiter conjunct in Leo, right around 4 or 5 degrees. And it really shows the expansive heart shining a spotlight on the undercurrents around independence, technology, the future, and the transformation of all of us, we the people in greater society. So on the other hand, in the opposition, we have full moon and Pluto in Aquarius reflecting back and illuminating and challenging the transformation around overinflated public egos and dysfunctional self-indulgence. So I wanted to pull one card. I always pull one card that I call the energy soup. And it's like the underlying energy under a lot of the readings that I do. And so this one card will apply to all of the elemental readings that I'm doing for whichever one you're here for. So we'll get into that, and it'll all be timestamps. So we've got the World card reversed. This is on the Gilded Tarot. Such a beautiful deck. And so to me, this is really kind of self-explanatory of saying we are really experiencing the world being turned on its head. Things feel really upside down right now. And I feel like it also being reversed is, the world is the end of the major cycle. It's the very end card of all the major arcanas in the tarot deck. And so it being reversed, I feel like the end of the cycle is here, but it's not quite completed yet. We're in that final part where things are really, really falling apart before they can start being put back together. And so I look at this as being the underlying energy for these next readings for the elements. So we'll get on to the element of the fire signs. And so we're going to pull 3 cards. I call this reading the 3 gifts. And so I've already shuffled the cards. Just giving a couple more while we're sitting here together. This is the Rock and Roll Tarot by Vickie, Verlie, the Rock and Roll Prophetess. And then this is the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. And let's see, we'll pull one of these right here. Oh, I should have pulled this one right here. Let's go for that guy. And then we have the Pulp Tarot. One more on this. Okay. We've got that right there. So this is the 3 gifts. And the middle card right here is the gift of where we are right now as we are in our situations where we are inside at this place in this time. We've got the Seven of Wands reversed. So I feel like this really gives me a sense of feeling like we have our backs against the wall as the fire signs. I'm an Aries, and of feeling like we don't have a place to be able to defend ourselves, of feeling rather helpless, of being able to really do anything in our situations, of having a lot of wanting to do something and take action, but of not feeling like we can stand our ground. And I'm seeing that out in the world right now, of people seeing what's going on and watching things melt down. And no matter where you are in that situation out in the world and how you feel about it, a lot of us are just witnessing things coming apart in a way and changing. And we're just having to kind of just see where things land and go from there and react from there. So anyway, that's kind of where the fire signs are at right now. And this is a fire card with the wands. It's kind of wanting to take action and not knowing which way to go with it. So this card in the spread is the energy that is wanting to come in, the gifts that are coming in. And universe is always lining things up out in the pipeline. That's based on the energies and frequencies that we're putting out, what we've done and put out in the past. And so this is the energy wanting to come through. And so we've got the Two of Wands reversed. So to me, this is about looking at the world, looking at which path should we take. And I feel like it's about which plan of action to take, which way do we want to go, and really assessing the situations of how are we going to get there and get where we want. The Two of Wands reversed, I feel like a path has been chosen. So going on to this third card, represented by the Pulp Tarot, this card represents the energies that are wanting to flow away. The gift there is that it's a gift to the greater good, a gift to someone else, or it's a gift to yourself in forgiving and letting go of something that you don't want to keep any attachment or judgment, anger, sadness, resentment, all that kind of stuff. And so this is the card for that. And we've got the Three of Pentacles reversed. So the Three of Pentacles reversed, I feel like, really has a lot to do with not feeling like either projects where things have been collaborated upon with others have gone well, that good work has not been done, or that those collaborations are done with. It could be work situations, living situations, things where you put in effort and resources and time, money, and with others, and things didn't work out the way you wanted it to. The end goal was not realized in a way that was desired. I feel like this is about letting go disappointment about that, and understanding that the value there and the gift to yourself was the lessons learned along the way. It's not the fact that things did not go well or it wasn't the quality of work that was intended, but the lessons that were learned. That's where the value comes from this card. And not everything we do is ever going to be exactly the way we wanted, but the education is so valuable. And if we take that away from the situation, it's a win. And so I feel like also this, having all three cards reversed, all four of these cards are reversed. To me, that many reversals in a spread, it feels like a retrograde to me, where forward motion that's not what the object is here. It's about reassessment. This could be talking about, Saturn going retrograde, and we just came out of Mercury retrograde, of having to slow down, not worry about things going forward, but going back over things and making sure things are written correctly, communicated properly. Any travel that we're doing, that our tires are well inflated, the car's running, and making sure our communications get through. So to me, especially with the Saturn retrograde, to me, this is talking about taking those lessons from the past where things did not work out to the quality and standards that were needed. And this could be out in the world. This could be in, the personal lives of us fire signs. And to, know that this situation here of feeling like our backs are against the wall, this is a fleeting card. It's not a major arcana. It's not it's not a permanent thing. We're feeling this way because we're kind of getting the rug yanked out from underneath our feet, and that's okay. That's kind of a normal thing to feel like that. So I think a lot of it is that we may not feel like we can stand our ground to others, but if we are feeling solid within ourselves and are living into our true authenticity and our integrity for what we know is right, we're going to be okay through all this. And really having that and knowing that these things are helping us to make the decision of, that didn't work back then, and I am not going to feel powerless forever, and therefore I'm going to take the road that is best for me to use my strengths, use my creativity, and take action on what I have learned and the wisdom I have gained along the way. So I would love to take a couple of oracle cards here. I've got the Beast Mistress Animal Oracle cards by Vickie Verlie. And I like to look at these as being kind of guidance cards on how to go about navigating all of this. And I find that the animals, compared to us humans who have a tendency to overthink things and use a lot of words, and only our logic to get through things, I think that the animals, it's more of a visceral, energetic exchange. So to me, it's about adopting the energy of this animal. And we've got the fox. I love her artwork. And the fox says, sly, sexy, charming, shapeshifter, elevated sense of smell, acute hearing, mediumship, camouflage, retreat, insulate, survive. Keep to yourself until you know who to trust. So to me, this is about really using your wit, of using your charm, and not in a devious way, but using those skills that you have to find the people that you want, find the people that are going to ally with you for those positive attributes that you have, and being able to not be stuck in your ways on, I've always done it this way with these people in these situations, and being willing to move and change into a new reality where you do have the power and you're not feeling like your back is against the wall. Elevated sense of smell, acute hearing, and mediumship. That's all about really being attuned into all of those sensitivities that are not only our physical senses, but to those gut feelings. And I feel like, bringing in that sense of smell as, pay attention to the smell, the situations of where you live and where you work. Smell is very very powerful in our brains. It brings up a lot of memories and set up your situations. We're building new foundations, and that's what Saturn is wanting to see us do. We are building foundations towards the future. And so make your house smell really good. Cook good food. Pay attention to your surroundings and the environments that you're not only building, but also going to and being in and spending your time in. Acute hearing, paying attention to what are people saying. Listen to the music and the tone of the news and media that you're consuming. Is it really is that the energetic feel? Do those words ring right to you, or are you getting caught up into somebody else's fear mongering or way of thinking in the world that doesn't really jive with who you are, or giving you more of that sense of we have our backs against the wall and are powerless? Camouflage, retreat, insulate, survive. To me, that is about, you know, taking care of yourself in a way where I think that has a lot to do with picking your own battles. Of, do we want to fight every single thing that we're maybe putting ourselves into danger of? If we are speaking out in protests or situations where things could be dangerous to us, I think it's really important for us to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and the people around us. It's not about winning the fight right now. It's about the longevity of making sure that we are able to build into what we want to see. Cycles end and cycles come into being, and we want to be here for the next one to build those new worlds. Keep to yourself until you know who to trust. And so it may not be that you tell everybody your plans, especially if it's something that you may be seeing a vision that the people around you, they may not see it. And so rather than spending your time trying to convince people that aren't going to, that may end up making you feel like you may not actually want to act upon something that you feel really strongly about, and you can see your way through it, hold it back. Start taking those steps for yourself. Build that foundation. Do those things that Saturn's saying, if you do this and you build these foundations, you will get to where you're going. And so I find that to be very sound advice. Being the fox. And then these are just flowers, and I find them to be just a really simple and sweet little message to help tie into it all. And we've got the hyacinth. The hyacinth says, play, laugh, and find joy. So really, that's going to be a big part of turning around this fire energy where we feel like our backs are against the wall. When we're laughing and playing and being joyful, it's really hard to have the fear come in. It really helps take it out. And it helps us find the confidence to be able to go forward with things. When we play and we laugh, we can help take serious matters and give them a more uplifting feeling where we don't feel, it gives us a little more courage in matters where things feel like there's a lot of gravity, and it keeps us from getting really stuck in the mud with that gravity and being able to run over the top of it and have that higher ground. So anyway, I feel like that helps turn that energy around. I enjoy the cards because, they're just little pieces of paper with pictures on them. I find them to be a great tool with the imagery. But really, just because they come out into a spread one way doesn't mean that that's the way it is forever. And we really have the opportunity to play around with the imagery and then try on that for size. And if we are able to laugh and play right now and be able to protect ourselves, find the people that really ally with us in the now. Now, that turns this feeling like our backs are against the wall to, wow, I feel like I am on the higher ground and I have the energy to be able to defend what I know is right and to hold that higher ground. And to me, I feel like that's part of, I would like to find that in the now. And when we have the wisdom gained from things that didn't work out, that we put a lot of effort and resource, we had skin in the game, we find the allies for future projects, and we do turn around our feeling from being back against the wall to, I have the confidence to be able to defend myself. I know that for what I feel is right, that this is worth working and going for. And that is really what's going to help pick that path going forward in confidence and have the creativity to get there. Well, I hope that was helpful in some way. I'm really excited in these times, even though they're really intense. And I just feel like it's really exciting to be here at a time when we have the opportunity to help bring in this change. And anyway, I will see you guys next week, and we'll be talking about other things. And have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.